Hey everyone, how's it going? I wanted to talk a little bit about an article that I read in all places, Business Insider. It was something I came across last night while I was looking through my Apple News feed. So it might be behind a paywall for some people, but I'll link to it below. But it was about this lady who had lost over 100 pounds. I believe she had lost over 130 pounds. And the article is about the 4 habits that she has developed to maintain that weight loss. And it was a little bit interesting, and the reason why I wanted to bring it up, because the way she initially lost that weight was actually through bariatric surgery. She had bariatric surgery, and I believe initially she was working with a nutritionist and or trainer that had her working out, I think she said 6 times a week, and she was eating a low carb diet. This was several years ago, and so she initially lost that 100 plus pounds, and then since then has managed to maintain that weight loss. But she's no longer working out 6 days a week or following a low carb diet, because she found that was not sustainable for her lifestyle. But what she has done is followed a less intense, more maintainable way of living. So a lot of people think that things like bariatric surgery, or now with the advent of GLP-1 drugs, that, oh, you just do this thing and you get this weight loss and that's it. It's that simple. And initially, yes, you have the surgery or you take the drug and you're going to most likely lose a significant amount of weight. But what people don't talk about is that if you don't develop the lifestyle or change your lifestyle, you still don't exercise, you do all the things that led to you initially gaining that weight, that you can get it back. Even by physically altering your body, right? By having bariatric surgery, people can, I think it said in the article, it referenced a study that said that 76% of people who have bariatric surgery end up regaining the weight. So even by physically making your stomach smaller, if you don't change the lifestyle habits, you'll put back on all that weight. So lifestyle change, and similar with GLP-1 drugs, once you stop taking them, if you don't change your lifestyle, you're just going to put yourself right back to where you were. So lifestyle change is important. And initially, this lady, she found out that what she was doing to maintain that weight loss was just not sustainable, right? She was working out 6 days a week. She was eating a low carb diet. They didn't elaborate on types of workouts she was doing or what kind of macro breakdown her diet was, but they indicated that it just wasn't sustainable. And what she ended up doing was developing more sustainable lifestyle habits that worked for her. And it's been several years since she's had the surgery. It resulted in the weight loss, and she's still down more than 100 pounds, which is amazing, right? She's beaten the odds several times over. So the 4 habits that she highlighted, or they highlighted in the article that she says she does, is nothing sexy. It's fascinating, right? It's not fascinating to believe in them, right? It's why I preach these things all the time. But it just reiterates the importance here. So the first thing she said she does is that she focuses on eating whole, minimally processed foods with the occasional treat. In simple terms, she basically eats whole foods, and sometimes she doesn't mind the occasional indulgence, which is amazing, right? That's like kind of a nice balance, right? Whole, minimally processed foods. She's not following a low carb diet. She's not excluding one food group. She said she felt very restricted when she had followed a low-carb diet, hence why it was not maintainable for her. If it is maintainable for you, great, but for her it was not. So she just focuses on whole foods, things we talk about, like proteins, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, and that type of stuff. Everything on the outside of the grocery store, if you're looking for a simple way to think about it. Nothing in the aisles. But occasionally she'll have a treat, whatever that treat may be. Maybe it's a pizza. For her, I think she referenced some chocolate. But maybe it's occasionally have the slice of birthday cake when it's your birthday, or out with your friends and have a couple drinks and an appetizer, or it's an anniversary, or you're on vacation, or whatever. She doesn't stress about the occasional treat, but she primarily eats whole, minimally processed foods. The second thing she said she did is she strength trains 3 times a week. Perfect. It's exactly what I recommend to people. I say strength training 2 to 3 times a week and you're golden, right? And she says in the article that previously, when she was working out 6 times a week after initially having the surgery, that she felt like she was using exercise as a punishment, right? So whenever she would fall off the low carb diet, that she would then exercise super hard or drive up the intensity of her workouts to make up for the fact that she fell off the diet. And now she thinks of exercise as a way to make herself feel good. And she knows that it makes her a better person, a better individual, and improves her health. So she no longer associates exercise as a punishment, but instead as a tool to feel better and feel more alive and more capable and more enabled, and allows her to perform to her standards. And that's an amazing mindset shift to have. It really does change your relationship with exercise. So if you're someone that struggles with exercise because you view it as a punishment for what you've done, what you've eaten, that type of stuff, shifting that mindset away from exercise as a chore, as punishment, instead as a tool that you're using to get to where you want to go, you're much more likely to enjoy the exercise that you're doing. And obviously strength training 3 times a week helps support, build muscle, maintain that muscle, and make you a more capable human in your day-to-day life. The next thing she says she does is she tries to walk a lot. So she says that she tries to get in her steps every day. She does things like parking further away from her office, so she has to walk further. She walks on her lunch breaks, that type of stuff. Exactly what I'm doing right now. Is going for a walk. And yeah, you're no surprise if you've been following me for any period of time that I am a huge fan of walking. I think walking is the most underrated thing that we can do for our health. There's so many benefits. Yes, you're outside, you're moving, you're burning calories. That's the least of the benefits that you're getting. I'm getting sunlight. My eyes are getting visually stimulated. I'm taking a break from the draining mental work that I've been doing all morning long. Reinvigorating my body. Gives me an opportunity to create these videos for you. I'll go walk with my wife and my kids, so it allows me to connect with my family. I've used walks for clearing my mind, calming down, relaxing. And the sunshine gives me vitamin D. It helps improve my sleep quality at night. The benefits are innumerable, and data shows, just study after study, if you're getting between 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, the health outcomes related to that are just massive, right? It improves everything. She's walking a ton. And then the last benefit she had was prioritizing healthy habits over the scale, right? Obviously, anyone's focused on a weight loss goal. Generally, the scale plays a role in that journey, and many people have a poor relationship with the scale, and what that number is in the morning can really dictate everything about the rest of their day, their outlook about themselves, how they feel, how worthy they are, the success or failure of their journey, their overall health, and they put a lot of weight into the number on the scale. I believe the scale is an important tool. I acknowledge the fact that it's not for everyone, but really, if you can change your relationship to that scale, it can serve you well in your weight loss journey. But she's learned to not get caught up in that number. She's changed her relationship with that scale. She focuses more on, she realizes that the scale will go up and down. Sometimes inexplicably. Sometimes you can predict it. But she realizes now that that number is going to change day to day. And it doesn't really say much about her overall health and what she's doing, right? She's now realized that, and probably through stepping on the scale day after day over several years, she's probably realized at this point that as long as she sticks to her healthy habits, her walking, her strength training, prioritizing whole food, and I'm sure there's a number of other habits that she has that weren't highlighted in the article, as long as she sticks to those healthy habits, she's on the right track. The scale may go up, and at times it will go up. But maybe she realizes that, oh, it's gone up for the past several weeks. I can see this trend now of weight gain. Maybe I've changed something about my habits. Maybe I've stopped walking during my lunch break, or I've really haven't been eating as healthy as I haven't been prioritizing whole foods that I like. And that brings her back to focusing on those habits. As long as she corrects the habits and knows that these habits are the true focus to her ultimate goal, which now appears to just be maintaining her weight, that as long as she brings those habits back to where they used to be, that she can correct what's happening on the scale. So the focus should always be on the habits, right? Because the scale is just, sometimes it is not accurate. Sometimes it is just noise. Sometimes it does inexplicable things. And so only focusing on that as your only true metric of whether you're making progress or doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, or your worth or your success, it's bound to end in disappointment, because it's just not, it's not predictable. It's not accurate all the time. It's not a true reflection of everything you're doing. So she's learned to stop focusing so much on that number, instead focus on the habits and really prioritize those habits that she talked about above in the article. And so I found this article interesting for several reasons. First, because she used a medical intervention, in this case bariatric surgery, to initially achieve the weight loss she was after. But she did the right thing in that while she had the medical intervention, she also worked on her lifestyle. And it's the lifestyle that unlocked the long-term success that she's had over several years at this point with her weight loss, not the surgery. And so regardless of your opinion on how you want to lose the weight, whether you think that medical interventions like bariatric surgery or GLP-1s, whatever it might be, are good or bad, whatever, bottom line is, however you choose to go about getting to that weight loss, it's the lifestyle habits, it's the habits that you developed or do develop while going through that weight loss journey that are going to allow you to maintain that weight loss in the long term. And so if you don't develop those habits, if you don't find a sustainable way of living a healthy lifestyle, then you are bound to put that weight back on. And that's true regardless of how you initially achieved the weight loss. So hope you find that interesting. I'll link to the article below. I hope it's not behind a paywall and everyone can read it, but fascinating stuff. It just reiterates what we believe in, what I work on with clients on a daily basis. And if you do need help in this area of developing the right habits for you, for your goals, I do have a couple one-on-one spots open. Please feel free to reach out to me directly, or you can go to my website, rjbhealth.coach, click on the schedule discovery call button and fill out that form, and I'll get back to you and we can chat a little bit more about one-on-one coaching. But if you're just trying to keep up with all the content that I put out, the free content that I create on a weekly basis that to help you develop these habits The best way to do that is with my newsletter, jumping on the newsletter. So again, go to rjdhealth.coach, click on the newsletter link at the top, enter your email address, and you can sign up for the newsletter and get everything that I put out for free on a weekly basis. And with that, I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll chat to you all soon next week.